Think of this situation. You are a senior developer at a Bengaluru startup. Your company has just deployed an AI assistant, let's say ChatGPT. Your management is excited, your team is super excited. But the real problem starts here. Your AI cannot read data from your SQL database. It cannot check tickets in Jira. It cannot even read a simple Google Sheet which your product manager updates every morning. Every time you want AI to do something useful, your developers have to write a custom code, a custom integration, or a custom connector. And guess what? If you have to introduce another application tomorrow, you have to write another integration code from the scratch. This is the real problem with the AI today. The models are amazingly smart, but they're completely disconnected from the data and tools where your business runs. And this is exactly the problem which MCP Server solves. By the end of this video, you will fully understand what MCP Server is, how its architecture works, real Indian use cases, and how you can build yourself. All in simple English from scratch. So stay with me till the end of this video, because this one concept is going to change the way you think about AI forever. Welcome to AI Catalyst. Here we simplify complex AI topics into clear and easy English for the Indian audience. I'm your host Saurabh Upadhyay, and in my earlier video comparing MCP and RAG, I had promised that I will bring a complete detailed video on MCP servers. So today that video is finally here, and today we are doing a complete beginner friendly guide on one of the most talked about AI topic right now in the world is MCP server. This video is perfect for you whether you are a developer, a cloud architect, a product manager, or simply someone who really want to understand where AI is heading right now. So let's get started. Before I describe what MCP server is, I want to make sure you understand the problem it is solving. Let's say you have a very intelligent chef. Let's call him Chef AI. Chef AI can, cook any dish you describe. His skills are incredible. But here's the catch. Chef AI has no access to your kitchen, no access to your refrigerator, no access to market. In fact, Chef AI has no access to any ingredients. So what he can do actually? He can only talk about cooking. He can only describe the recipes in theory, but he cannot cook anything in real. This is exactly what the AI model is currently without a MCP server. Brilliant, but isolated. Another example. Now let me tell you about Mumbai Dabbawala system. Every day, thousands of Dabbawalas pick up the food from people's home and deliver to their respective office with nearly zero error rate. Harvard Business School has studied this system and it is legendary. But here's the brilliant part. Dabbawalas does not cook the food. They does not decide the menu. They even don't know what exactly in the tiffin box. Their job is exactly one thing, being a reliable bridge between home and office. Home sends the food, office receives the food. Dabbawala ensure a connection happen every single day efficiently, every time without problem. And MCP server is that Dabbawala in the AI world. Now let's relate it. Your AI is that office worker who is hungry for the information and ready to act. And your company data, databases, API are the homes full of fresh and real data. MCP server is that standardized connection between home and office, which ensure to pick up the right data and deliver to the right place every time, efficiently, reliably. Now let me give you the technical definition. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It was first introduced by Anthropic in November 2024. It's an open standard that defines how AI model connects to external data sources, services, or tools. Before MCP, if you really want to connect your AI to any external data or tools, you have to write a custom code. And this is what we call classic N into M problem. N number of tools into N number of models is equal to nightmare of custom codes. With MCP, you build your MCP server once with a standard protocol, and then any AI, being it Cloud, ChatGPT, or Gemini, can connect to the same server with the same standard protocol. Every time, standard for every AI. Now let's talk about how MCP actually works behind the scene. And I promise you, I will try to explain this in the simplest way possible. Think of Indian Railways. Every train journey has three different things. First, the train, second, the track, third, the station. Each of them have their own importance. You cannot remove any of them. Exactly same way, MCP also has the three pillars: the host, the client, and the server. The MCP host is the main AI application, the station where everything begins. This is what users see and interact with. The example of MCP hosts are Cloud Desktop, Cursor IDE, or VS Code with Copilot, and for that matter, any custom AI application you build. This is where user types the request, and this is where the AI lives. In our railway analogy, This is a station. MCP host is a station. This is the starting point and the ending point of every journey. The MCP client lives inside the host. It is a component which ensures the connection between the host and the one of the each MCP server. So there is an important rule. One MCP clients have a one-to-one connection to one MCP server, which means if your host have to connect 5 MCP servers, it will deploy 5 different MCP clients, one for each server. So back to our railway analogy, MCP client is a rail, is a train, which knows the route and ensures that data moves correctly. And now the MCP server itself. This is the part which most people are referring to when they really talk about the MCP server. The MCP server is a program that exposes your data and tools to the AI. It wraps your external systems like the database, files, tools, and make them available through the MCP protocol. The server exposes 3 types of capabilities. First is resources, which is the read-only data like files, documents, databases. Second is tools, which gives the ability to perform actions like sending an email, query a database, or maybe just writing some document. Then third is prompt, which is a reusable workflow for a specific reason or for a specific function. In back to our railway analogy, MCP server is the destination station and delivering cargo where the actual value lives. So how do these 3 players communicate with each other? MCP uses a format called as JSON RPC 2.0 for all messages. You really don't need to memorize this, but just remember and understand this is standard lightweight message format. And then there are 2 types of transport method. The first is STD-IO, standard input output. This is used when MCP server is running on your local system. And the second one is streamable HTTP. It is used when your MCP server is running remotely, let's say on a cloud service. So this is how the final flow looks like. The user types the question on the host. MCP clients discover what tools are available on the MCP server. AI decides which tool to call. MCP clients sends the request to MCP server. MCP server will perform an action or fetch the data and sends the results back to the host and then shared with the user. Now let's jump to the most interesting part. Here I will tell you how MCP looks like in real Indian business scenarios. Imagine you are running an e-commerce platform and you have an AI customer support assistant. A customer comes and asks, where is my order from 3 days ago? Now without MCP, your AI has no data. It can only apologize and ask customer to check the app. But with MCP, your AI will connect directly to your order management database, your logistic API, your warehouse system through just one MCP server. And it can instantly pulls the data of the order status, exact location, expected date, and share with the client in the real time. And this is what exactly Swiggy has already done. Swiggy has deployed an MCP server which allows ordering grocery and dining reservation through Cloud AI, which means now you can book your dining table while working on Cloud AI. Now this one will make every Indian developer proud. India's Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation (MOSPI) has officially introduced India's first MCP server in 2026. This server gives AI models direct access to India's statistic data, GDP numbers, employment data, demographic reports, all directly through MCP interface. Now what that means for researchers, journalists, policymakers, they can ask any AI model any complex question about India's economy and they will get the direct answer instantly from the source of truth. For large Indian IT services companies like Wipro, Infosys, TCS, MCP server is a game changer for the internal developer productivity. Now, a developer can simply ask its AI assistant, show me what all tickets are assigned to me in Jira, or what is the status of last CI/CD pipeline we had deployed, create a PR summary from the last commit, all in simple natural language request, and 3 different tools which are connected now through MCP. No custom code, no integration, no API, just simply results. I know many of you are watching this video are cloud professional and maybe some of them are cloud architect. So especially for Azure architect, MCP is extremely powerful because Microsoft has released Azure MCP servers which let you manage your entire Azure infrastructure through natural language request. You can simply ask your AI assistant to check the status of all your storage account or create a resource group with these 3 different settings in central India. You just say the command, MCP handles the rest. So it's no more you need to remember PowerShell or CLI commands, AZ commands. So everything is managed through the AI assistant. A quick check. If you're finding this video useful, please hit the like button right now. It takes literally 2 seconds only. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Every week I bring same in-depth knowledge content from AI world, especially designed for Indian tech professionals. Now let's go back to MCP track. Now let us compare MCP with 3 other different approaches you might have already heard of, and this will make MCP value crystal clear. The first one is API integration. In traditional API integration means you have to write a custom code for each tool you want to connect. You want to connect Cloud with GitHub, write a code. You want to connect Slack, write a code. You want to connect databases, write more code. Every integration is unique and every integration breaks when API changes. Every new team member have to understand all the custom integration. With MCP, you build your server once and then all AI connects to it same way. And if API change, you change it at the server, not at the client level. Second is function call, which is also called as tool use. It was first introduced by OpenAI and now supported by all major AI models. So it let AI model call the predefined functions. In fact, MCP is also built on the same concept, but here's the key difference. Function call is defined for every different model, which means every model has its own schema. One schema for Claude, one schema for Gemini, another schema for OpenAI. MCP has standardized this completely. One tool definition on MCP server works with all AI models that supports MCP. And now OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, DeepMind, all major AI models has accepted this as a standard. And now it has been transferred to Linux Foundation, which means it is now a pure open standard owned by nobody and available for everyone. Third is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. In this technique, you feed your data and information into a vector database, and then AI models search the relevant chunks while answering your question. So RAG is excellent for the retrieval of the information, like searching through documents, finding the relevant information. But RAG is read-only, it cannot take the action. MCP does everything which RAG does, but it can also take action. It can send an email, it can update the DNS records, it can update your database entry, create a Jira ticket. Think of this way. RAG gives power and knowledge to AI, and then MCP gives the capability to AI to perform the action. By the way, I have already compared MCP and RAG in detail in my earlier video. I will give the link in the I button and in the description. Please go through it once. Now let us talk about how you can set up an MCP server. I will give you conceptual steps, the theoretical framework, so you understand what is involved before you start writing a single line of code. So think of this like reading the instruction manual first before you start building the IKEA shelf. You do not need a PhD. You just need to understand the different pieces. The first step is to choose MCP SDK and language. MCP provides official SDKs in Python and TypeScript. Python is an excellent choice for AI work, and then TypeScript is a popular choice for JavaScript developers. You can simply install SDK using pip for Python, pip install MCP, or npm for Node.js. In this step 2, you decide what your server is going to expose. So this is a design decision where you define what your server offering. Are you offering resources like read-only access to your database, files, folders, or you offering tools, an ability to create Jira ticket, send message, query API, or offering prompts, the predefined workflows. For example, if you are building an MCP server for your company's HR department, your tools may include check the available leaves balance for employee, check the attendance report, submit the leave request. In the step 3, you implement the handlers. For each tool and resource you are defining, you write a handler, a function that does the actual real job. It connects to your database, your file system, your API, and returns the result in a structured format. MCP SDK make it straightforward. You define a tool with a name, description, and a schema, and then you write the actual function code. That is it. In the step 4, you decide the transport model, local or remote. For local development, MCP running on your laptop or a local server, you use STD-IO transport. It is fast, simple, and no network required. But for production use cases where multiple users or multiple AI models connect, you use streamable HTTP model transport. So in this, you can actually deploy your MCP server on Azure, container services, AWS Lambda, or Google Cloud Run, any platform. In the final step, you tell your AI application how to connect MCP server. For Cloud Desktop, you simply edit the JSON configuration file. You give your MCP server a name and tell Cloud Desktop to connect it, and also provide any anywhere environment variable like API key. Once Cloud Desktop know it, it will start it and connecting it automatically whenever Cloud Desktop starts. and discover your old tool and resources. Now your AI application is connected to MCP host. So this is a complete flow. Choose your SDK, define capabilities, implement handlers, choose transport, connect AI host. Before I wrap up, I want to mention one important thing. MCP is really powerful, and power comes with a lot of responsibilities. Since MCP is connecting AI to your real systems, please ensure your security standards are high. So whenever you deploy an MCP server, you ensure you only give the minimum required permission, never expose it to direct internet, and ensure no server can really access if it's not required. Anthropic and Linux Foundation are actively working to improve its security, but as a builder, as an architect, it's our responsibility to ensure it is correctly defined from the day one. Now, here is my honest message to everyone watching this video. The age of AI as a chatbot is over now. The next wave is AI as an agent. An agent can read your data, can take action, which actually can work alongside you. And MCP is the foundation of that future. So if you understand MCP properly now, you will be ahead of the people working along your side. If this video gave you clarity, please like it now and share it with one of your friend or colleague who is working in cloud or AI and want to learn it. Also, subscribe AI Catalyst if you have not already done, because in the next videos, we are going to build MCP server live, step by step with real code, and you don't want to miss that. So, I will see you in the next video. Till the time, keep learning, keep building, and remember, future belongs to those who act today.